And on the 8th day, God looked down on his planned paradise and said, I need a caretaker. So God made a farmer.
Howdy folks, Darren back with you here at Cross Timbers Farm. Welcome to 8th Day Chronicles. As you can see, our test plot of hay has been cut. We cut yesterday evening, and apologies up front for not bringing you along for the cutting. I've said in some previous videos, this test plot of hay is very small. It's 2/10 of an acre, and with the Kubota and the FarmMax FDM 135 drum mower, I can literally mow this in 10 minutes, if that long, once I get going. There's not a whole lot to show, but I will show you tedding it and maybe raking it. Raking's kind of hard to show. We might not do the raking, but we'll show you baling it. And we cut yesterday. For 2 or 3 days I've been watching the weather. Well, in reality probably 2 or 3 weeks, but very closely. And the weather for this week, today's a Tuesday and we cut Monday evening, and the weather yet for the last couple of days I've been watching it is really clear. Every day it showed clear. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Thursday evening into Thursday night there's a slight chance of some rain, and the forecast just kept flip-flopping. 2 hours earlier it would change and show basically no chance of rain for Thursday evening. 2 hours later you look at it again and it would show rain chances back up to about 30%. You look at 2 hours later down to 2% chance. 2 or 3 hours later look at it again, it's back up to 40%. They don't know. All they know is there's a slight chance of some rain Thursday evening and Thursday night. And we've got our fingers crossed that that does not happen, because this hay is not drying down real well. I mowed on Monday evening, it's now Tuesday about noon, and this hay looks just as green as when I cut it yesterday evening. It's not dried down hardly any. Very, very little dry down. The problem is this time of year we've not hit those days of 90-degree temperatures, upper 80s, low 90s, with good heat to dry this out this early in the year. It is the last week of May. Later for second cuttings we'll get temperatures where it'll dry down good. This early in the year it's not drying down that great. We only have temperatures in the low 70s at best. However, the sun is out today, but usually this time of year we only get so much. The sun's not real high like it is during later in the summer when it's hot. One good thing we have going for us, at least for today, is it's breezy and pretty low humidity. So with this breeze, maybe it'll work out. As you can see, the hay's looking good. This test plot of hay is prime hay. This is fescue and orchard grass, mostly orchard grass with some tall fescue, and really pleased to say loads of red clover in this. I'll show you some of it in a moment. It's looking really good. Here in the next hour or two, we're going to ted this. We're going to give it a ted, spread it out. It's still in the exactly where the drum mower laid it over, and we're gonna run the tedder over it real quick. We can ted this literally in 10 minutes, if that long, and go from there. The red clover in it is phenomenal. I just picked some up here. There's a leaf. The red clover is tremendous in it. There's a lot of it, which is good. That's what we wanted. The test plot's looking good. It's going to be interesting to see what our yield will be compared to last year. Our last cutting last September, we got 6 bales off this. And I done a short video then on the weight and the yield, and if you compare it to this 2/10 of an acre, and all things being equal, move it up to an acre, and you know, and then you can multiply it on out. But we got 6. I know we did get 6 bales. I can't remember the weight of yield, but it's quality hay. The yield is secondary to the quality of it. This is high quality hay, very high quality hay, especially for first cutting hay. It's very high quality. That's the most important thing. That's what we're shooting for. It's not quantity but quality. But it is going to be interesting nonetheless to see our yield. So we'll be tedding it in a few minutes. Okay, folks, look at the red clover in this hay. Look at that. Is that not phenomenal? Look how much red clover is in this hay. It's phenomenal. Any tall fescue that has endophyte, this red clover, there's almost enough of this red clover to combat any that's in this test plot. It's looking really good. And if you look even like in different places and you see the hay laid over, if you get to looking, look right here. Look at all that red clover in this hay. I mean, it's in there everywhere. Look how much of it's in it. It's just, it's full of red clover. A side note to when we cut our test plot with the drum mower. If you recall back a couple months ago during the winter, we done some routine maintenance on our drum mower, and we raised the cutting height. And we went from the stock standard position of about 1 5/8, I think is what it is, that it cuts from the factory, how they have the discs, the drums set with the spacers. We added, if I'm not mistaken, 3 spacers to the existing spacer for a total of 4. And it raised our cutting height a little over 3 inches. I'm happy to report that the cutting height adjustment we did on our drum mower is fantastic. Highly recommend that if you buy a FarmMax drum mower, that you buy the cutting height lift kit to go with it. It raised our cutting height. You can stand with a ruler and measure, you know, from the concrete to the top of the blades when they're spinning. They're not going to be hanging down, they're going to be straight out when that thing's at full speed cutting. We got out here yesterday and measured our stubble after we cut, and we're getting about 3.5, close to 4 inches of stubble in a real life setting. When we've cut, it went from 1 5/8 inches to 4 inches. Fantastic. I'm very happy with the height it's cutting at right now. That's where we're going to leave it. That was well worth our time to adjust that cutting height. It was well worth the price, the additional price that you pay for a drum mower. If you're buying a Farm Max drum mower, go ahead. I strongly suggest you go ahead and buy that lift kit with your drum mower, and go ahead at your first opportunity and raise that cut height. Where they come from the factory at 1 5/8 inches for regrowth of your hay is just too low. Now your hay will regrow, but it's going to stun it, and it's going to take longer for it to regrow. I'm confident now that our hay is going to regrow a lot faster for our second cutting than it did last year. Cutting it at 1 5/8 inches. Now we're cutting it at, there was places, you know, your ground, your field contours dip and turn. If you're mowing a football field, fantastic, but if you're mowing the average hay field, you're going to have dips and bumps and turns and things of that nature in your field. The average stubble height we got yesterday afternoon was about 3 3/4, almost 4 inches. Perfect. Highly recommend you adjust the cut height on your drum mower for hay production. Okay, folks, tethering is done. As you can see behind me, this little 2/10 of an acre test plot that we grow with our new tether and the Kubota literally took about maybe a minute to ted. It tedded it out literally. That tether, that 2-basket tether, tedded it out just in a matter of seconds. We're done with it, and it's good looking hay. I tethered it kind of gentle. I didn't want to just, look at that. I didn't want to beat this up too bad. It's really full of clover, and that clover, I'm fairly new to a tether, but everything I understand is with a tether you can knock the leaves off your legumes. So nowhere near 540 on the PTO. We done it a little gentle. Try not to beat the leaves off of it. Of course, it's still real green. None of the leaves should have shattered, but the further dry down it goes, the more gentle you have to be with it. So, all right, that literally took a minute, 2 minutes, not long at all. So now it's just wait and keep our fingers crossed the weather cooperates. Short farm day, tethering this little bitty patch of 2/10 of an acre of our test plot quick and easy. Our main hay fields, I'm going to take a guess, they're 2 weeks away. One thing that I've not alluded to on our channel about the test plot versus our main hay fields, our barn sits on top of the ridge, and we have a barnyard area on the top on each side, and this side has southern exposure. Our hay fields are west and northern exposure, so they're about 2 weeks behind. Even with the fertilize, I think even if we put triple 17 on that back there, like we did this, everything identical, the main hay fields would still be a week to a week and a half behind this one, just because of the exposure this one gets. It has southern exposure and gets more sun than our main hay field, which is northern and western exposure, northwest, I guess you'd say, and it just grows slower because of that. That's one reason. So it's a good 2 weeks behind this one. So it'll be 2 more weeks probably before we cut, and we'll do some filming of that cutting, and because it's a bigger area and take us longer, so a lot longer. Thanks for being with us today. I got the rest of the day free. I think I'm going fishing the rest of the day. God bless, and thanks for dropping by with us. Hope you and your family have a great day.